won the round because they had the weapons in their favor, but it is worrisome. If they try to go for something like that again and it fails in this map, it could have far more dire consequences. With that said, we are into the pistol. No super soldiers this time around for the likes of TeamOne. No dualies coming out with the Kevlar. It's just a tried and true utility for the T side on one player and a kit and some utility for Torito WoW as well. It's going to be a rather quick A play here for TeamOne. We do actually have a Molotov and a smoke as well on Pac-Man, so there could be a little bit of utility damage here. Either way, Maro starts things off well, catches the player towards the stairs and the chaos in the smoke. That is a nice start here. Kinky has fallen in the meanwhile. It's going to be an even 4 versus 4 going into... It will be a chaotic retake. Maro trying to fall away, finds one. Has no ammo in the gun and will have to swap to the Glock. He's lucky to be alive here. Mobs falls away and now just delicately dances in the jungle area. He'll win the duel with the USP. Very well done. 2 versus 3, though, still an uphill battle here as the CTs enter the site, but they have no idea Pesadelo is lurking. He's found 1, he's found 2, maybe 3, he finds all 3! Spamsy, distracted by the player in the window. Sure, he'll find that kill, but Pesadelo comes in huge. 3 for him, 2 for Mulbs, and that is a very solid collapse into the site from TeamOne to take down the CT players.
Took a hero play from Pace to close it out in the end. Mulbs is good over towards jungle as well, but it doesn't matter for TeamOne. They win their first pistol round of this series. It is their map pick. And a great start to their map number 2, which they win. Gets them into the 1 and 2 side of things. Teams like Nouns are in the 1 and 2 side as well, so, and Imperial too. So 1 and 2, not exactly going to be too easy of a game moving forward. In fact, it's just going to be more of a slog as we go through, with the teams getting better and better at the end. Maluk and Pesa with the opening double kills, though it's just USPs for Infinity. There's not really too much to write home about in this round. Pesa really heating up, was great on map 1 as well. In fact, I believe he was the top frag up there with Maluk on Inferno, so Pesa up the top. It's always good to see for TeamOne, a very solid individual. Maro and Torito, not much they can do. And TeamOne are kind of just looking for executes, it looks like right now. They're just looking for executions because the bomb is down in C, and they haven't really even attempted to go grab it and get a bomb down. They're just running around looking for kills, and Torito's actually going to pick up the MAC-10 of Maluk. So at least something goes right for Infinity.
They at least get something, but it's the MAC-10. Not too consequential. That weapon would not be very serviceable in the following, presuming the rifle round coming through. Maro now outside the window. He might find one of the Mobs here. It requires a headshot, though. Guaranteed a headshot in order to get this one. Mobs gets the spot first, though, and the aim punch really does seals Maro's fate there. 2-0, TeamOne. Clean, or nearly clean, second round, losing only the MAC-10. And honestly, that is a more than a required investment, I would say, upgrade even, going into this third round, as Infinity have rifles across the board. They have a FAMAS, they have 4 M4s, they have no helmets on 4/5 of the squad, sure, but they have utility. No kit, though, for the CT side. Could spell trouble if TeamOne get control of the site.
Definitely could signal a prepare for trouble, but make it double as Pac-Man gets domed trying to make the cat jump work as Pesa. Good flash in for Maro, but he can only find 1 out of that engagement. Needed to double down, needed to get the trade, or at least get 1 and out alive. You can't be going 1 for 1 in that situation. Kinky trying to retreat to B is domed by Maluk. IDK falls. Spamsy creeping it through jungle. Might actually catch up Pesadelo. Has the right idea and actually has the right angle. The bomb is all the way in C, though, and again, TeamOne are neglecting the objective of the terrorist side, planting the bomb, the thing that goes boom, and now their chances have exploded as Torito will shut down Maluk. TRK has to hero play it, and he'll sprint over towards A, but already on the angle is the man who shut down his leading game leader. Torito's all the way through jungle to stairs. TRK stomping around like an elephant, has made all the noise, and he's going to plant open. He could be exposed. Yep.
He is. Over the top of the stairs. Confidence play from Torito. Wow, very well done. And again, this brawly style, this puggy style, TeamOne are trying to go for the kills, as you mentioned. They left the bomb. Sure, it was in a reachable position if they decided they wanted to go for a take, but they got so many kills that were bolstered by those opening duels. Pesadelo catching the player on catwalk. The second player swinging out Khan, only good for 1. That was a quick trade as well. And Maluka reading it well, pushing all the way through apartments to get the third. It was more so just an aggressive call from TeamOne off of those picks, and that really does backfire, as you mentioned. It separates the final 2 remaining players. TeamOne, one of the players tries to go for the hero play, Maluka, in towards the market, and that is just his undoing. Now another aggressive play towards middle is shut down this time around. No success for TeamOne. Pac-Man finding tomorrow, another good flash from the CT side, and IDK, he's going to try to find a way back into it here with his Galil, but he takes so much damage, it's just not feasible. He found one, then he was done. Maluka, the Opper, 1 versus 4 with a Deagle. And this was an investment for TeamOne as well. They went for rifles, they went for Deagles, they went for wherever they could, and it's backfired completely. 1 versus 4 for Maluka. What can he really do? Nothing much, but he can't just save the Deagle either. With only $100 in the bank, he won't get any money if he decides to do that, so he'll have to try and take a duel. The question is, can he take anybody down with him?
If he can get 1 more kill, it's going to help out. If he can somehow manage 2, it would be huge. Spamsy is spotted, hits the dink, and gets the kill. Clean recovery here from Infinity. And Spamsy doesn't even go for the AK that's sitting out top middle. Interesting decision there. I don't know about you, but on the CT side, the AK is just so much better than the M4. Either way, though, TeamOne are going to be on pistols, and Infinity should be able to get a 3rd round on the board. And it all comes back to them kind of just trying to ego out on Infinity right now, doesn't it? They're just not exactly playing right, proper Counter-Strike right now.
They really aren't. And back to your talk about the AK being better on the CT side, the only CT player with an AK has yet to get a kill box. I don't know if your stats bear that out, but it is pistols. You can't really expect much of a round like this. Maybe the novelty of the aggressive push with the numbers could get 1 or 2. Maybe a bit of luck there. We saw a jumping Glock headshot on Inferno. That really started the scrappiness in that one. So you never know. Actually, there is 1 P250 as well on IDK, so that could find something, but pesadelo in the window, not a chance at that range versus the M4. Maybe a little bit better luck here from TRK towards the catwalk, but even then, they're going to be hard-pressed to find anything. Infinity might get the early lead once again here. Spam, this should be a free one. Yep, IDK is not even looking the right direction. Knife out. Kinky. There's the AK chiming in. A pair of kills over towards the apartments, and TRK now just stomping around, jumping around, having a jovial time over towards middle, and they're just going to collapse it on. There's almost the Glock kill, a little bit of luck there I was talking about. The dink does come through, but the Glock, it's shooting the airsoft pellets. It's not firing actual rounds. It does not get the job done. And Infinity do take the lead here 3-2 as a result.
Yeah, the Glock's a pellet gun in this game, isn't it? And ironically enough, it fires the same round as the MP, and yet does, like, nothing. So...
Now, the dinks are about the same, I would say.
Yeah, the dinks are about
Mac
the same.
10 but the body shots is where it really falls flat.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
The Glock
It is
does
a
what,
pistol
like
after all.
7, 8, but the MP9 can do like 12.
It's pretty close. It's a longer barrel. It's all about the physics. This is a very realistic game after all.
I mean, it's something that is essentially an automatic pistol. But I digress about the mechanics of firearms, and Torito has pushed all the way through pallets. This is at a huge angle. Maro still has the advantageous angle out towards A ramp too. And once again, TeamOne have decided, the bomb? What's that? We don't need that. We just go kill people. That's the name of the game, right? Counter-Strike kill offensive. No, it's global offensive. You got to do some global damage here. You got to make things go boom, TeamOne. They finally recover the bomb, and they're going to bring it forward here. But it looks like an A split. And again, Torito's position is an advanced push all the way through Palace. It's going to be such a good spot. That nade on Inferno would have done a lot more damage, but this time it only does a combined 8. Molotov will go through as well. Doesn't really do much either. Just stalls him out a little bit. But if Torito pushes all the way through, you get a false positive. Oh, that's huge from Spamsy.
Luka, the lurker on the catwalk, was an important part of this take. Maro finds a second as well before falling. The advantage is maintained. Spamsy's low on HP. As long as he stays alive, he is an important thorn in their side.
Knife.
And Torito, wow, you mentioned on the flank. He's going to shoot him in the back. He's going to get another as well. Mobs and TRK do find a pair of kills in the meanwhile, but still, a 2 versus 1 is maintained. Mobs on the Galil does so much damage, but he cannot convert the kill. Maybe if he had the AK, it would be a different story, but that's not the case here. Infinity now extending their lead 4-2. Keep in mind, this is the pick of TeamOne. So they do have to start on the tougher side of things, T side, but they're still really struggling. It seems like in middle, when they drop the bomb over there towards C, as you mentioned, they're kind of just spotting players, getting some kills, getting some trades. They're getting whipped up into a frenzy, and they're just neglecting to do their due diligence grabbing the bomb. So they really do need to stop themselves from getting overly assertive. They need to slow things down here on this T side. Otherwise, things could very quickly get away from them. It's just pistols, though, in this round. An opportunity to do tremendous damage with the Deagle and the Tech 9s, but still going to be a difficult uphill battle here. Pac-Man starts things off 2 heard from our Mobs will find a trade and a second. So perhaps an opportunity, especially now with this M4. He could find the third on Cat. He does. Mobs is opening it up. He's here on map 2 as well as map 1. He's looking for a fourth, perhaps over towards the catwalk. He's gotten the information, and he might be the hero his team needs in this round.
He's creeping around the smoke towards Market. Infinity look poised to go for a group up on Cat, but Mobs might even just clear through. No, he's just going to go towards E-Box instead. Both players coming through Cat. The information might have been seen by IDK there as he's just backing away. Malb sitting behind the boxes waiting for them to push on through. Definitely knows it now. They're going to line up for him. It's a Malbs ace. And now he gets a little bit loud. Malbs is back, baby. Let's go. It's good to see him with a great play with the aim, the M4, just the discipline to not overspray. And then the reposition around the smoke. Bit risky toss and window there. And a timeout called by TeamOne, probably to make sure the comms don't get out of hand. And also to discuss things, because that's another round that's not necessarily replicable. It was pistols, it was Malbs, and Malbs alone. And you can't just rely on Malbs to ace out, what would it be, 12 more times?
You can't rely on him to ace in general. That was with pistols.
Yep.
Making it doubly impressive. Incredibly huge play from Malbs. And I'm going to make a lowbrow joke now. I have to warn you. If I was Infinity, I would be Malbing right now. That was it. That was the joke. I hope you appreciate that one. Had to set that one up. It was a big one, I would say. Really put all my eggs in one basket for that one. But Infinity, they need to use that timeout as well to talk. They do get another investment, but the bank they've built up is now expended. They have the op. They have M4s across the board. Actually, 3 M4 and a FAMAS, excuse me, on Kinky. TeamOne, though, they won a half buy. That means they can pull out all the bells and whistles in this one. 4 rifles, one of them being an M4, and an op for Maluka to challenge the likes of Spamzy. This is I would say, even footing, perhaps even an advantage for TeamOne in terms of firepower going into round number 8, and they could tie this up as a result.
I'd give them the advantage because they don't have a FAMAS and they have more utility. But look at this advanced ramp position from Infinity. 2 players, including the op, pushed all the way up to ramp, 1 keeping an eye on Palace. TeamOne again leaving the bomb in C on the upstairs. And maybe a bit of a mid-probe coming in from Motto. Smoke's going in, Motto's in the flames, and Malbs will barely be able to win that duel. His Molotov helping him out there. The bomb has been recovered, though, and it's going into A. And look how Infinity are responding. They're slowly pressuring forward on the ramp. But TeamOne have their guns out. They seem to be prepared for this. They've already seen early ramp control before. TRK jumps around, but Torito with the dink and the follow-up body shot. Just smoke it off. Play around it, but he goes hunting a little too far. It's Pesa to capitalize. Now Spamzy is in a very tough spot without a rifle. He knows there's one in Palace, but the ramp players can definitely come through and take him out. The mid lurk is finished off, though. 3-on-3. Spamzy gets the bomb, and he can get more here. He spots the elbow, hits the wallbang, no scope. Sidearm out, but Maluk counters with a one of his own. And TeamOne try to battle back in here. 1 on the flank, 1 in CT. Flashed or mollied out, and Pac-Man got both. He got the bricks player and the bomb planner.
That's a heck of a lineup. That's a little bit of luck sprinkled in there. Infinity steal that round away. They most certainly should not have. The important note here as well is that's an expensive round for the CT side. I don't think Kinky gets an upgrade. I don't think he has time to go and pick up one of those rifles, and they lose the op. So it's still going to be a difficult proposition for Infinity. TeamOne as well in a rather similar position. As we mentioned, they won the eco round in the round before last, so they can still scrounge together a buy here. It's less than ideal, but it is a buy nonetheless. 2 Galils, 3 AKs, lackluster utility versus a FAMAS and 4 rifles. Infinity, they've been showing us more thus far on their CT side. TeamOne have been relying on the individual performances. Can they change that here and now? It's a quick play. TRK finding 2 around the smoke. Very well done. TeamOne changing the pace into tremendous success. Mobs as well chiming in. He's the heavy hitter in this map. It's just Torito, Wow, and Kinky. 2 versus 5. Sure, they have rifles, and sure, some of the TeamOne players are lit, but just given the sheer deficit in terms of players, in terms of firepower, they might have to call it quits, and it seems like they will. They're going to try to go for exits, try to do some damage, keep the T-side economy honest. But this is a round that is going to go the way of TeamOne, all but certainly.
Yeah, I think Infinity's going to try and save what they have, although Torito might get caught here. He's in a bit of a... No, is he going to try and ninja this? He is! He's made all the noises, smoke goes astray. He should be taken down?
This is good. Oh, it was close.
Jeez, that's way too close. If he pulled that off, that would have been That would have been worse than that one Ninja. I believe it was an old FaZe VP game back in like the Neo Snacks Taz days of VP, where I believe it was, I want to say it was Snacks who got a Ninja on the ace out of Mirage because all of FaZe went hunting on B.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I do have my fair experience with Ninja Diffuses. My one and only tournament winnings do come from a 1 versus 2 Ninja Diffuse on 14-15 map 3 of my collegiate career. So I will say I do have some skin in the game in this department. The key is to throw the smoke as close to the bomb as possible, a little bit off one side or the other, and to defuse from a really, really weird angle. If he could have maybe stuck his body along the side of the box further back, the spam would have missed. It's all about getting that weird, wonky angle in the Ninja Diffuse and trying to sow as much chaos as possible while doing it. And obviously, it was a very Valorant attempt, right? He got halfway there or thereabouts.
A little bit more.
Which is pretty good. The spam also didn't connect. I think the Galil, just the wonky Galil spray is what really sealed the fate of him there. If it was an AK and the spam was more true towards the expected position, it could have been a different outcome. But obviously that was not the case. Infinity, they're going to try and buy around those the one save rifle, excuse me, with some Deagles and MP9, but at least in the early goings it has not worked out. 4 versus 5, Maro with the Deagle trying to find something through the smoke, but he's just locked out of the site. Team1, a quick A play once again, this time a classic A side execute to lock out all the CT players, and Pistols will try to get back in a scrappy way. Lots of damage done to the smoke from Pac-Man. That might give them a way back into it. They're going to have their work cut out for them. That's a good start. Kinky, the hero rifle, drops the player pressing. That might be a misplay from TRKs. Now the Molotov bites away at another. Maluka towards the ramp. We'll find one in the IDK towards the stairs. A second. Still a way back into it for Infinity. 1 and 2 for Pesadelo. Again from the Palace. He chime in and clutch up when necessary. But that round should not have been as close as it was.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah, that was way too close for comfort if you are Team1. Infinity, though, they should be happy with their damage on such a meager investment. They should be relatively satisfied that they're at least getting something done. But the only problem is they have nothing in this round. They're on pistols, and they can't really just be satisfied with small little victories like that, Nate. They have one satisfaction, that is winning this map and going to map 3. The fact they lost their own map just really puts them behind the 8 ball and puts them in a very rough spot. Peso could get caught out here, though. He flashes for himself. He's got a lineup. He's got a free farm. 4 out of 5. It is just eco frags, but hey, with that many targets in a line, that's shooting fish in a barrel.
Eco plays are eco plays, but when it's flashy, it's always fun to watch. It doesn't matter what your opponent has. We got to highlight it. Very well done from Pesadelo on the spray down. Just the sheer numbers do him in. And 14 HP is all it stood between him and 500 damage in that round, which would do just a miracle for his stats, I would say.
Imagine the ADR after that one.
Exactly. 14 HP, though. He'll find a second Pac-Man. He will be taken down, though. Mobs, a little bit of spam for good measure. Maybe a little bit of psychological warfare.
He's been in an A too long.
Yeah, I will say he's probably a little bit angry here. Pesadelo got 4 kills, stole away the lead in terms of kills.
True.
On the T side.
And
so
ADR.
I'm sure Mobs is a little bit angry after that one. But, you know, it's all in good fun. Team1, it's not about the stats. It's about winning this game. Both these teams are veterans. Both these teams know that. They can have a little bit of fun here and there when the going is good. But when it comes to brass tacks, they should be reining things in and playing as a team. Op for Maluka is in effect. It's boosted up middle as well. And Infinity going for another aggressive play down towards the middle, it appears. Player dropped down. Not caught. Maro, what a shot. He dropped some Maluki on the op, and that is one heck of an opening now for Infinity.
Yeah, Maro almost got caught by TRK, but he just wasn't looking at the right spot. Now he has the right angle. He's going to toss the nade in there, but there's nobody in the vicinity now. Wobbs will try and recover something, but Maro backing away into Sniper's Nest. IDK has crossed through Palace, and it looks like his position is surmised by Spamsy. Malbs will get the drop on Spamsy, though, and now pushing the jungle. Maro next in line to get his bell rung. And Malbs is really coming alive now, tying things up with Pesadelo yet again. Pac-Man has revealed his own position. Malbs will not take the fight, though. He knows he's low. Drops the flames. Dorito will burn in the flames to 32 HP. Nade goes in, and down he goes. It's IDK this time. The bomb yet to go down, but this is not one of those situations where Team1 were just leaving the bomb in spawn. They're trying to ensure they have the site control to go for the plants, and if that happens, it's all down to Kinky now. He can't stop the bomb, but save the M4 territory for him. Team1 going to get 7 on the T side. And Nate, their T side stats a 51% win rate, so just about that 7 rounds on the T side. So about par for the course here for Team1 on this map.
They're doing very well on their T side. It is typically the more difficult side conventionally. So they are doing well for themselves. 7 at minimum. 8 seems likely at this stage, given the fact that this last round was an investment. And they're hunting him down as well. Kinky being held for by Mobs. I also want to highlight, we talked about a player to watch. That was IDK at the start of the game because he was the one who had done the best up to this point. But he's now the one struggling the most for his team.
I don't think
And
it's
it is
really that important, though, one, because you have Mobs
not.
and Pesa playing out of their minds.
That's what I wanted to highlight. We have Mobs and we have Pesadelo now waking up in a big way. Both players having monstrous map 1s and now equally monstrous map 2s. And that's what I want to highlight. I want to highlight the fact that we had IDK trying to keep them alive in day 1. Now it's actually the heavy hitters, the players you'd expect to get the kills, coming alive on day 2. And if they can keep this momentum, if they can keep this form going on further on into this tournament, assuming they win this game, of course, then perhaps they can pull off a bit of a comeback in the IEM Road to Rio Americas.
I mean, coming into this tournament, it was Malbs at the top in terms of rating in the last 3 months, and then Pesa next behind him. Maluk has picked up 2. He's actually number 3 in terms of rating on this team, despite being the op in the IGL. Pesa coming for the trade. TRK out of Palace. And IDK with the last one, but everyone really has had their moments. IDK's been all right. TRK's had his spray downs. Maluk hasn't had too much to do, but he's opping on the T side. It's always harder to do things on the T side when you're an opera, unless you're on Dust 2 or Overpass, realistically speaking. So, TeamOne right now, they're starting to look a little looser, Nate. The faces are looking a little more relaxed. They're looking a lot less tense. Maybe they're getting rid of some of those LAN jitters. I know they went and played in a local North American LAN where Apex actually came over from EU to play in as well and did not win. It was won by one of the EG squads. It was the EG, I think they're called EG Black or EG White, I forget. There's too many EGs to keep track of, and there's too many T's to keep track of. Apparently, never mind, Pac-Man has picked up a pair, and that's gotten Infinity a 2-man advantage. Nate, they might be able to get 6 here. If they can get to 7, they give themselves that shot they need. But Pesa is still on the prowl. IDK. What? 4x3?
Completely out. That was a bit of a misplay. But it is Infinity still running things in. A good trade from Kinky. That's a bit of a confusing one, I agree.
Yeah, I think
Pesadelo,
it's 4x3. I hope.
I would think. 16 kills and 16 HP for the last player. Here's the player departments to hold it down. Off angle from Kinky isn't more than enough. The issue is Infinity, they secure this round short, but it's going to be an uphill battle. We haven't mentioned the economy at all for either team because it has been a little bit scrappy, a little bit back and forth. But the T side of team really have come into their own. They had 10K in the bank at the start of that round and after investing into that round. They are going to have no problem reinvesting here and now. So Infinity, an equally tough, if not even a more difficult proposition in the final round of the half to get themselves 7. And regardless, TeamOne is going to emerge with the advantage going into the second half. So Infinity, not only here and now, but also throughout the rest of this map, they have their work cut out for them and then some.
Otto tries to flash his way in, but IDK ready for him. Gives him a swift trip down the river Styx. I hope he had something to pay the ferryman with, though, Nate. Davito swinging around with an MP9, not going to really win that duel either. IDK clearing out through jungle and snipers. The smoke will fade shortly, and that will give him all the vision he needs. Double mollies in to clear out CT. 1 for the ticket, and 1 just behind. IDK here spams. He swings out wide, but the Opera will at the very least get 1 more. Bomb going down. 3-on-4 retake. Last run of the half will not be a save from Infinity. They have to go for it. I love this position from TRK on top of the triple stack. He'll pick up 1 onto Kinky. Malbs is holding the line on Khan. TRK is just kind of trusting his teammate now to get those kills. He will fall away. Pac-Man is blinded. Malbs will get 1. Maluk the other. A 9-6 half for TeamOne. Going into half number 2. See you in a bit.
Welcome back to the second half, ladies and gentlemen. TeamOne bringing us to a very nice scoreline of 9-6 as we enter the second half. Infinity now on the conventionally tougher side of Mirage. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and honestly, we do have a lot of utility on this T side coming into this one.
I like the flashes. I love the flashes. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a B exec with the flashes raining over. IDK's made the call. He's trying to not get blinded. He'll drop a smoke and just play a retake. But a retake B is a far different proposition than a retake A. He needs the shots, though, and he can't connect the first headshot. He goes back for more, but he still does not come up with anything. He's still trying to catch a fish, though, Nate, and he might get Torito if he swings out right. Yes, he does. Drive by, and the second on D'Amato. Bomb took it away, though, and that is a victory for Infinity. But they still have to win the round. Maluk is caught by Pac-Man. Kiki at the bench trying to sit some kids down. But his skills are not connecting. Pac-Man, in the meantime, will double down, but Malbs is coming through from apartments, and he is striking. IDK with another. It's all down to Pac-Man. He's going to get knifed by Pesa. No! Pesa goes down, and Malbs will just be like, all right, you can have your fun, Pesa. I'm going to make sure we win the round by using my bullets instead of my knife. It's not even a secondary. It's tertiary at best. But for TeamOne, they've won both pistols here. They do let Infinity get the plant. I don't think TeamOne are going to be too scared, though. They are looking good.
Yeah, I dare call the knife the movement stick. It's really like a walking stick. It just makes you go faster.
Everyone runs
IDK,
fast with a knife.
Exactly. IDK, nice pair there to open things up on that round. You can see IDK as well in the face cams there, having a jovial mood. Malbs, the other player, far more stoic, I must say, sticking that defuse, but still, I'm sure they're riding high in this one. 10-6 now, 4 rounds ahead, but things are going to be tough here. It's relatively even in terms of investment. Infinity, they got the bomb plant. That means they go for the buy. 3 Galils, a Deagle, and a Hero AK for Pac-Man. And Malbs, even though he knows it's probably a half buy, is still going to challenge here. Torito, wow, walks into it, nearly catches him, pulling his rifle back out, but Malbs is too quick. He's had a heck of a map thus far. 20 kills, and now the opening here versus the 4 spot.
It's Malbs just coming back alive. He's been silent for pretty much his whole return to TeamOne. He's had a game here and there, but in large part, it's been a far cry from the Malbs of old. This is the first real sign we've seen that Malbs is coming back into his own. IDK just gets crouch swung, and Pesadelo will fall as well. Malbs has to hold the line, but he's back at bench, and he sits one down, knocks down a second, making a third, 4 on the round. Is this going to be a second ace for Malbs in the very same map from essentially the same position? I would like to add. He spots Kinky. He doesn't
Mouse
spot
left
Kinky.
mouse click unbound. It feels like he should have fired there. His crosshair was in the perfect spot. It doesn't matter. TRK will close out the round, but he might have been looking at the map. Might have gotten lost in the sauce in terms of team communication, I think. It definitely looked like he kind of just was absent. He was recomposing himself. Maybe the nerves got to him. It definitely looked like he was just looking somewhere else. Not in the right spot, potentially in his own head. Either way, he still seals the round for his team, right? Yep. 23 kills now, 110 ADR. We wanted Malbs to come alive. We didn't think he'd come alive this much, though. And now, Infinity, no bomb plant. Desperate force buy yields nothing. Just like, I think 3 kills total, which is decent, but you want more from a force buy. So they're on the pistols now, and IDK in the underpass. Spots the bomb, gets one. The Deagle, though, does spam him away in return. You definitely want more than 1 for 1, given the disparity in investment here.
I think it was just he was expecting the second player to be a little higher up. This was the reposition that caught him off guard from Pac-Man. Torito goes hunting, and he gets met with a spray of bullets from Malbs, forces him down to 7 HP and away. Oh, gets the rare Deagle animation, but swaps back to his knife. Unfortunate. Bomb and C for Infinity, but this isn't a round they could really hope to win. The name of the game is damage, and maybe a bomb plant if they're lucky. But luck, Lady Luck would really have to be on their side tonight if they do get it. Because things are really just locking down for TeamOne right now. Malbs, full confidence on the balcony. Maluk pushing up catwalk. The bomb's still down in C for Infinity. And they're stalled out on... Are they expecting TeamOne to hunt the pistols? That's the only logical explanation here.
They really are playing just incredibly slow. Perhaps they're waiting their group up. A little bit scared to go alone. They want to do as much damage as possible. And it looks like Torito's probably going to drop off that MP9. He should drop over something. He only has 7 HP after all, and his teammate has a Glock towards the ramp. No.
Junk.
Pesadelo taps away Kinky in the meanwhile, and the last two remaining try to come out the ramp. Pesadelo lines up one. Motto has the deagle. He does find one. Nice shot, but the aim punch does him in on the second. Relatively clean for Team1. They would have preferred to keep 4 up, but still 3 alive is an acceptable outcome. But this is where things could get interesting. Infinity, they should have rifles on the board. Team1, this is their first real test now on the CT side.
First real test, but will Maluk have the op? Yes, he will. It's on the floor, and he will grab it. The classic green op. No skin on that, but I think he'll still be able to find some kills with it nonetheless. IDK, just on his default A1S spot, spams it and decides not to overextend. It's a wise decision. Pesa was there with him too. A lot of mid control taken and then faded away. Look how much utility is being spent by Infinity just because of that early push. Just because they knew that somebody could be there, the possibility, the information that somebody was there at the very least, has forced Infinity to use about 4 pieces of utility out to the middle angles. And Pesa's just going to sit in the box. It's a very easily cleared angle. The gun barrel of the A1S will show first, but Pesa swings! The timing works. The headshot connected, and Maluk does too. Down onto the site they go, and down 6 feet under they fall. Team1 looking to close this one out in fiery speed.
There's a blitz here. Pac-Man down towards damage camp, but I think Amaro's been just stuck in towards the house. Too afraid to go out, too afraid to fall away, and so get caught in the middle. Very well done from Team1. The aggression towards the middle gets so much control, and it draws out so much utility, as you mentioned. By the time the utility had concluded and mid control was retaken, there was only 1 smoke remaining for the T side of Infinity. That's not enough to go for an execute. That's not enough to do much of anything. So Infinity, maybe some better budgeting on this T side is in order, but for this round, at the very least, it's going to be not much to do. Some smokes, some pistols, some Kevlar, and probably a fast call towards the catwalk, a B split perhaps for this T side of Infinity.
Maluk's got a smoke spam onto Pac-Man, so the first cat player is taken out. IDK is pushed very far through kitchen, but he's going to have to be careful not to get cooked himself. Does get one, holds the line, spots up Motto, goes backwards, a lot more damage, swaps to a nade.
Still 2 here, though.
Yeah.
They've rotated. They've read this perfectly, but it is an unfortunate loss there.
Sometimes you just gotta hold your gun. Hey, Maluk got the kill with the nade. There's another nade kill in this series.
Yeah, this one looking to be under wraps. Fails the KZ check, but he still wins the duel. He tried to land on the window. There's a jump you can do to land on the window.
He tried to jump shoot him.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. I would have loved to see the little jump into the window. That would have been really cool. But the smoke was on the balcony. It would have been way too difficult. If he hit that jump, massive props, because he would not have seen where he was going. It would have been pure muscle memory alone to get him there. Either way, Team1 on the cusp now of map point and series point by extension. Keep that in mind. They won the first map in a far more scrappy fashion. They've reined things back, and it was a little bit worrisome at the beginning on the T side. They were getting a little bit too quick for their own good, leaving the bomb over towards C, as you mentioned, but they quickly reined things back in, made it a respectable 9-6 half going into the second, and of course, they've been flawless now on the CT side thus far with 5 rounds in a row.
Nade goes forward. It's a little bit of damage on the Malbs, but he should be fine. It's just a lurk in apartments in the form of Torito, which I believe it is Little Bull in Spanish.
Don't believe you have to be sure before you say these things on cast. I'm pretty sure it's but we'll see. Either way, he is the one to find the opening. Very well done. Lots of damage taken, sure, but it's the first opening Infinity have had in a long time. Team1, though, that won't force them away. They're still going to go aggressive, and TRK has the information. He spots the player running away from A. The A side is totally cleared, and they're going to rotate around. It looks like a B split potentially is on the cards, but there's so much control towards the middle and towards the connector that Maluka does have to stick around and try and hold. It's a very awkward situation now for Team1. IDKs of the apartments. With a player through A, it's all on middle for Infinity, and that could spell disaster here. Maluka tagged out, taken down, in fact, but IDK in the apartments pressed forward. He does again find one, but only one. He is traded out by Motto. And so it is a difficult 2 versus 4 ahead of Pesadelo and TRK. Pesadelo taken down. It's a flank. 2 players are lit, but a 1 versus 4 is going to make this incredibly difficult.
It's still technically viable for TRK if you can get the drop on 1. Maro's on the angle. Maro. The spray comes through, feels his position. He's still alive, but TRK taken down very low. Kiki from jail should be able to win this fight, or at least buy enough time for his teammates to get the kill onto TRK, who's backing away now. He's low on health. He doesn't need to go for this fight. He can drop the AK over to say IDK is a little broke. And TeamOne can go GG go next into the next round, because this one, it doesn't really matter that they've lost. They've got a nice buffer. They're only 2 rounds away. They don't need to do anything too crazy. See, I should know that Toro is bull in Spanish. The only thing is, one of my favorite pieces of sushi is octopus, and that's called Toro. And that's what the first place my mind goes.
Chat said you were right, and chat is always right. So... don't worry, they're on your side.
Yeah, I trust chat on this one.
I trust chat. It's the same kind of difficult spot we were in with Piria in yesterday.
Oh yeah, with the pronunciation.
Yeah, that was really difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm glad chat is eager to help out. Either way, TeamOne have that luxury you mentioned. They have time. They have such a large advantage, still 7 rounds ahead, that they can afford to cut ties with that round, and they can save the rifle to make it a better economic situation in the following. You can see now they have very solid utility. They still have the op on Maluka. They have those 4 rifles running, including that AK, but they have an op to challenge. Spamsy, I mentioned it. He's taken out immediately. Casper's Curse taken out by Maluka. Maluka was immediately traded as well. The little bull coming through. Very well done to tie things back up. That is a huge kill to find, but TRK is still sticking around, and there are no smokes to keep him at bay, so Infinity might think better of heading towards A here.
Torito has the op, and he's positioned still looking for the stairs player, but the bomb's going to rotate back at least towards middle, potentially through a B take as well. Pac-Man and Underpass will retreat from the stairs and go up towards the halls, work through apartments. Torito still looking around towards A, looking for anybody to cross, hunting for him. But instead, it looks like TeamOne have read this incredibly well. Oh, he spotted out the jump spot finally. The Molotov comes in a little too late, and IDK is able to back away. But it's drawn a rotation away from TeamOne. The B site completely abandoned now, and their rotations who were going up Cat are now going T-spawn to A. Torito has sold the lurk, Nate. He has sold the fake. It didn't take a piece of utility. It took a person, but he gets mowed down, and Mulbs is now here. He's hearing the noise. He spots the molly. He tries to spray, but the bomb will be going down for the apps plant. Pac-Man around the window, and now it's 2 players in through apartments for TeamOne, and 2 in through market. The split is here. The play is on, and there's no utility to hold for Infinity. They are going to be stuck in a kill box. TRK the first, looking for the next step. Van is Kinky trying to crouch, but eventually he gets 2. Hold on, actually, Mato gets 2. Kinky with 1. Pesadelo into the waiting arms, and Infinity 2 rounds in a row. They are not going quietly into the good night. They find a way to put up a fight, and we'll see if they can put up a couple more rounds here, maybe even take us to a 3rd. Overpass would be that map if we do get there. And for the first time in a while, Infinity show a little bit of signs of life.
That was a very solid hold. That was not like a round that was just kind of one-off, a little bit lucky. That was a very solid and comprehensive hold from them. They had somebody covering towards the market, somebody crossfiring with the guy at the market, someone holding for the apartments push should that come through. It was just a comprehensive and well-played situation from Infinity, and even in the disadvantaged situations, they make it work. Very well sold fake as well. It did not net a kill in the end, but it did net the open side, and it also, more importantly, broke the economy here of TeamOne. So they should be able to build up a bit of a T-side economy now, assuming they keep this round relatively clean. And hopefully begin to build the path towards a comeback. It'll be 14-9 when they win this one, which they should. Okay. I say that Pesadelo gets a 1 versus 1 with the USP onto the lit Pac-Man.
Not often you see that.
Things could get a little more interesting.
Will Pace even go for it is the question, because he seems to be as far away from the bomb set as he possibly can. He's chilling out in T-apps. He doesn't want anything to do with this. He's got an AK. It's his precious. And Maluk get domed. Mulbs actually might be able to grab the AK, or at least get the kill. The AK should be rather unrecoverable for him. But at the very least, getting another kill would be big. Doesn't get it. Pace is just going to sit and save. Torito could actually get it, but Pesa goes for the extension down towards... Oh, the noise is made, and Pesa's gone down! No save, it's denied. And timeout forced out of TeamOne as well. Will they have the op for Maluk? It'll be hard pressed. Actually, I don't think they'll have the op for Maluk here, Nate, unless Malbs just goes glass cannon and rifle, which you wouldn't want to do. So I think it's going to be 5 rifles out for TeamOne here.
Yeah, I like the bull rush up under the underpass. Masked by the bomb explosion, I'm assuming a little bit as well.
Oh, true.
So, very well done from Torito Wow there. And now, we will have the investment, as you mentioned. The attack pause perfectly timed as well. They still have a lot of time to work with. Things aren't in crunch territory. Things aren't truly desperate for TeamOne, but they'd love to get across the line sooner rather than later. A higher round differential is always beneficial as well. Full M4s, as you mentioned, along with good utility. No kit. Makes this a little bit worrying. Infinity, they don't have an op either. So we are on more or less even footing here. Full AKs versus full M4s and decent utility on both sides.
Yeah, especially because there's 8 teams that will finish with 3 wins in this Swiss stage, and only 6 spots available for them. So you want as best of a round differential as you can get to get the best tie-breaking matches as you possibly can. Kiki will double down, though, eliminate that early pick from TRK. Maluk and IDK tossing in the utility from CT. The bomb is on the site, but it might not even get planted here. Touchdown, Maluk. Spamsy and Maro down in the red, 11 and 18 HP, respectively. Malbs has taken some damage. The nade could have finished off IDK if he was still around, but he falls away, and in fact, it'll do no damage at all to Maluk. He'll take a little bit of rifle damage, though. Sitting on an M4A1 of his own, Pac-Man has to be careful. The flash will go through. Malb's now more than ready for somebody to push in towards his direction. He creeps out, spots the gun barrel, waits for Pac-Man to walk out into the open. The bomb will go down, but of course with Malbs and Jungle, the 2 players in CT can get a little more space. The flash goes in. It's actually from Malbs, and Spamsy gets blinded and finished off. Maro only 1, and Maluk, you will get the final. Match point for TeamOne now. And Infinity has their luck run out, has their time here. The IEM Road to Rio Americas come to a close.
Very well done from TeamOne on the comeback there. It was a little bit difficult, a little bit touch and go, but they do get it done. That utility damage, as you mentioned, that harassing utility damage was very good. Very audacious plant as well coming in from Infinity. They lost their player towards the window. They know Malbs is lurking, and they know how hot Malbs is right now. It was a lot of trust and a lot pressed into that plant to bank on the fact that Malbs wouldn't just swing, because both those players were lit, and the player that was back towards the ramp couldn't cover the planter. So it was a very, very lucky situation all around there for Infinity to even get that bomb down.
Maro and Pac-Man taking some damage here already. Lots of apps pressure here from Infinity, but you know who's the Guardian to be? The Guardian's been removed as I see that. Spams you with the op pick. IDK is here, though, and he's come up with 1 blind. He still has some ammunition to fight with, spraying away, but Maluki and IDK both get taken down. Maro burning away a little bit more. Pesa very low on health. This is a save call for TeamOne. Infinity will grab double digits. They still have Pac-Man lurking around top middle. Maybe he can find an exit or 2. You deny the save here from TeamOne, and you could probably get yourself to 11 for relatively free, or at least very cheap. So for Infinity right now, they are giving themselves a chance to stay in this game. They are not going away just yet. And while they might be up against the wall, they still have a chance. Now, will they be able to pull off the 9Z, though? That's the question.
It's a very big question. Of course, 9Z, I do think is a different caliber. True. Also a different region, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that that kind of domestic rivalry that these 2 teams now have.
TRK, you can get backstabbed.
Dorito, no bomb to mask his steps that time. So he's taken down. TRK, sure, an exit, it's an exit, but the T-side economy probably isn't hurting too much right now.
Don't think it is, no. I think it's probably pretty strong.
And in fact, if they lose so much economy, the only way they lose economy and stay alive in this game is if they get like a clutch 1 versus 1, 1 versus 2 that they win.
Yep.
Right? So their economy pretty much is not going to be a factor anymore unless we get a lot of close rounds like that, because the T-side economy is typically so forgiving. It does sound like we do have a timeout as well, but I'm not too certain of that.
I think you were right, my friend.
And I'm assuming it would have been a TeamOne timeout, but you never know.
It could have been Infinity just to make sure they have everything dotted and crossed properly going into what could be their final round at the RMR. So it's definitely, I think, a good idea. Whoever called the timeout, it's a good idea for both teams. And for Team One, I don't necessarily think they would be calling it given their bye. Because if we look at it, the M4...
I was going to say exactly that, yeah.
The 2 pistols are the only thing purchased.
Yeah, it was a save. It is a save with the 2 rifles. The 2 hero rifles, in fact, pushing through the apartments all the way. 2 players here to hold it, Torito and Kinky. Torito's going to hold for the walk-in. He'll get dinked short, but he'll get the opening. That's what's important. That's one of those 2 rifles taken down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a critical one to find, and now an irrecoverable rifle. Pesadelo will find the trade eventually, and he'll continue forward, but will he expect Kinky down below? No. He's going to get blindsided. Nearly gets the 180, but Kinky holds things down, finds the trade, and now that's both rifles in irrecoverable situations. That seals the fate of Team One. 3 versus 4. 157, 1 Deagle, as you mentioned. A smoke on Maluki. And a USP for Mobs. Never count Mobs out. Sure, he's had a heck of a game thus far. 27 kills, but to find even 1 on a USP is a very difficult task.
Let alone 2, 3, 4, or 5. I guess he only needs 4, but still. That's basically asking him to move the Earth closer to the sun.
Herculean. Call it a task.
Even more than Hercules. He's going to need to call on the full power of the Olympian God Pantheon at this point. If he even gets 1 here, he's going to get overwhelmed. There's surely no way he gets even 1 kill. How? Oh no!
He could recover the gun as well. And IDK, this is an opportunity. Spams. Was he spotted? I don't think so. His barrel might have been, but
Shadow.
They definitely do know. There's the spot. There's the information. Pac-Man across the map will find one on the Maluki, sure, but still he needs to do more. He's going up catwalk to support. He'll walk into the Deagle. The spam from IDK's in, and the fake plant seals his fate. Mobs with the USP chimes in for a second off the assist, and they've done it. Team One have secured it 2-0. It was a very touch-and-go affair on Inferno, but it was a far more one-sided situation here on Mirage.
Yeah, a lot more one-sided. In fact, the way that Team One win it is Mobs at bench with a USP, IDK coming in from market with a Deagle, and a round that they should not have won at all. They were able to convert in the end, and it's got to be rough for Infinity.